James 1, 2 through 4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So a lot of us are talking about, going through some hard stuff in high school or going through some hard stuff in college. A lot of those are like trials. A lot of those things you're going to run into. It's going to happen. But you're going through that stuff for a reason. Maybe you don't know that reason at the time. Maybe you don't know that the reason behind it is God has something planned for you in the future. And maybe He's just not ready to show you that picture. Maybe He's not ready to show you your future. Maybe He's not ready to show you the reason. Maybe you won't find that reason out at all. But I don't believe that things happen by accident or things happen by coincidence. I believe God has a purpose for everything. I don't think that He'd make us go through something just because, He felt like making us go through something. I just don't see how that could be God. I just don't see how God could work that way. Now, me personally, I've gone through some stuff. I've looked back on my life, and for me, almost every single time that I've gone through something, I found that there's a reason behind it. Sometimes it was hard for me to accept that reason, but it's something that we're going to have to accept. If God points us in a direction, then we should follow that direction and not try and make it seem like that direction is going somewhere else. Make it seem like God is saying for us to go somewhere that He doesn't want us to go. It's not easy to do that, obviously, but God has a plan for you. And I believe that if God opens a door for you, that we shouldn't close it in His face. We shouldn't put on an appearance who we aren't. We shouldn't make it seem like we are someone who we aren't. Something else that I wanted to bring up right now is trying to fit into a clique or a crowd just because we want to be with this group of people. I went through a stage where I wanted to be in the cool crowd. I wanted to be the guy that was with all the cool guys, with all the cool folks. I just wanted to be that guy. Although I had to come to the realization that maybe I'm not that guy. And maybe I don't need to change my appearance. Maybe I don't have to change the way I feel or the way that I go about doing things. Maybe I should just be me. It's funny. You can go around putting on an appearance, and maybe you're not that person. Maybe it's just sunglasses covering the real you. Maybe it's just a mask covering the real you. And maybe your friends don't know who you really are until you take those sunglasses off, until you take that mask off and show them the real you. Don't be afraid to hide your faith. Don't be afraid of that. The way I look at it is, if you're afraid to tell your friends who you believe in, who is your Savior, then what you're doing is you're saying that you're embarrassed of God. Now for me, I don't know about the rest of you, for me, it's really hard for me to say that I'm embarrassed of God. However, at the same time, it's sometimes hard to say, I'm a Christian. I'm going to be honest with you, it is hard. One of the disciples denied God 3 times. It's not easy. This disciple here was one of the most, Jesus-loving person in the world. His whole heart was for Jesus, but he denied Him 3 times. It's not going to be easy. But if we can step over that, if we can step over our pride, if we can step over wanting to fit in, if we can step over that, then we're building perseverance and we're doing God's work. Once again, I believe that God has a plan for every one of us. The question is, are you willing to follow that plan? Are you willing to let everything you have everything you have on the line, are you willing to give it all to Him?